Hello, hello, hello.
I do, I do, I do. I hate TV.
Welcome, everybody. Sister and Cries Shift Kickers here.
Is she?
Melody. We got Kim, Mr. Ark Wild Man himself. How's
Well,
everybody
hello.
doing?
Say I did.
You did?
Well, he's telling me to say I do.
Oh, wait a minute. I just seen something new on here. What is that? Oh, extra camera. Okay.
Oh, please. You have to go and curse me already. talking about Walmart.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm happy I actually played the intro and it actually shows that we're live.
I had so much going on, I did not see that.
Yeah, because for 2 weeks in a row, I had issues starting on Friday, and then last week I just skipped the intro and just started, and that seemed to do the trip. Hey, Phoenix and JJ, how's it going? Sassy Cat.
You know, an hour ago, I think was the first time today I flipped the computer top open, my laptop. Hello,
Nothing,
JJ.
nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'm
Um,
wanting to stay in it, but I'm wanting to get not as into it as I've been getting, if
yeah,
that makes any sense.
and unfortunately, I had to get on because I had to review uh, misinformation. YouTube nabbed me on misinformation, even though I have the video from the person who was there, but nope, it's misinformation. I said, well, it was on the news even. How is it misinformation? But
Well, if they getting us
YouTube knows everything.
if they are getting us for misinformation on what we are reporting on the news, then why the hell can't they get the news on misinformation?
Yeah. I mean,
It don't make a lick of sense to me.
um well the pinball got misinformation too not too long ago
Yeah, I remember
for
that.
agreeing with YouTube
Wait a
about
minute.
about something that was wrong. I'm not going to say anything, but
He got misinformation for agreeing with YouTube.
yep.
It sounds like we need a holiday called Slap a Idiot Day.
No, we don't slap people. Oh yeah, I probably should before we start. I am not a financial advisor, a doctor, engineer, or any. I'm not a professional of anything. I offer ideas, and you can draw your own
Values.
ideas from mine or whatever.
That's it.
Just entertainment. That's all it is, entertainment.
That's it. Well, look. If we are entertainment, how come we ain't getting paid like the movie stars are? Some of us.
Um,
Ain't that
no, but
misinformation?
well, we won't go into that. I was going to say something.
Alright,
I don't want to get in trouble.
okay.
Yeah, but there are some shows that do say that our guests, it's their own beliefs and stuff like that. Don't take anything that they say or we say serious or to heart or anything like that. And that's how they get away with that stuff. But why is this? Maybe I have to run the banner, even though you're not allowed to do banners.
Really?
When I got demonetized, it says I'm not allowed to run banners across the screen.
Well, they don't. Okay. If we're not allowed to run banners, then somebody needs to make us a sign and stick it in the background so it can be seen.
Yeah,
That's not running
that's
no.
why I had to. What is it? This one? It's not showing. Where'd it go? Why isn't it showing? Oh, not that.
Yeah, that's when I
That
got
right there.
laughing at
Oh, you can't see
single
it.
male with a big bunker.
This thing. I started putting this on my videos because I'm not getting people are not stealing my stuff now because YouTube's not putting it out there, but um it basically because you can't really see it there too much, but it says original content owned and created by Bushcraft Family.
It
I
does.
mean, they can do that.
Hey,
And
leave it on your
I was running
refrigerator.
this on a lot of my videos. Yeah, and it sucks that you have to come up with these little things, and we have to talk in a certain way, so we don't get our channels taken down or demonetized or strikes. Hey, Ginger Ninja, we got
Uh,
Pennies in here.
JJ,
Life with Bobby.
excuse me. JJ mentioned something. Society are too programmed to believe the TV. Us, certain people, and others know otherwise. Well,
Yeah,
to be truthful about it, we as those type of people and another group is who YouTube is really coming down hard on.
yeah,
And it ain't right. But then again, we're on their platform.
yeah.
How can we argue with them?
I understand with following the rules and things like that, but it has to be an even playing field. You know
It
what I mean?
seems like they're coming up with a different set of rules practically every 2 or 3 days, is what it is.
Yeah, for people wondering about the this that I accidentally flashed up there, this was caused because of this guy over here.
Look,
He made a comment about big bunkers, and
it took off like wildfire. And, at the time, I did not realize what I said. Maybe about a minute or two, I realized it. But Sassy Cat posted Bushcraft advertising his big bunker again. Well, hey, I was always told if you got it, flaunt it.
Well, let's kind of go over our subject for today
Okay.
of of
Well, I ain't got
marriages.
no experience in this subject, so I'm gonna let you lead.
You have no experience. You have a
No,
lot of
no.
experiences in marriage.
Well, she says I don't.
Well, I was looking at this. I don't know how I came across the page or anything, but the first part of it's titled "How Marriages Have Changed Over the Last 100 Years," and we probably don't have to go back that far, but um, I thought a lot of these things were very interesting and the little stories behind them and stuff.
Well, I can go back 40 years, but I can't go back no further.
Well, that's the perfect time though because um, we had the 40 years. Well, you're not. Yeah,
40 years.
you're just past the free love stage. the,
Let's don't get into that.
the 50s.
I got married in 1980. I've been married. This coming February will be 42 years to the same woman, and this woman that I am married to is one hell of a woman. A lot of y'all know how I talk in here. I used to be worse, but that woman has put up with a whole bunch of BS from me, and for her to stick by my side day in and day out, to walk beside of me, not behind me or not in front of me.
Hmm.
And that's one hell of a woman.
Hey, 101.
Hello,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. I I dislike the fact there's some out there that say uh, there's a good woman and it's behind me. It should
Hmm.
be my belief was you're an equal, and that has changed. That used to be, that's the thing. It was the woman always stayed home. The man
Hmm.
went out there and earned a living. Hardly you would ever see women working, uh, other than the single women and stuff like that that had to provide for their family for some reason, and that was mainly after uh, wars.
Yeah. Well, before I got married, we textiles. I mean, they was all over the place. I've worked in a couple of real good ones, and I've known a bunch of people to work in quite a few of them. And it seems like to me there was more women who worked in the mills when I was coming up. But my mother and father told me when they really started, you very seldom caught a woman in a mill working. It was all men.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not going to discredit that, but from what I've seen or was raised up with, it's hard for me to believe that a mill was ran by all men. Um, I mean, yeah, the fixers and everything, they were all men because they lifted all the heavy stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I've worked in a tricot mill and I've worked in a knitting mill. Women are more patient than men. they can get stuff done, and they're a little bit quicker at it. To where a
Oh yeah.
guy, more or less, and I hate to say it, is going to bitch and gripe about it, but he's going to get it done. Where a woman, she just goes on and does it.
Hey, Alan. Yeah, I
Hello,
like you guys
sir.
posting your how long you've been married and stuff. For that it fits into kind of what we're getting at. Um, and like your your mom and dad, how long were they married?
If they were still living, they'd been married 63 years.
Yeah, and
You know, my
I
household,
can't say because uh, my my mom was killed when I was 2.5 years old. So I can't say I can't say how long my parents were married or anything like that. Um, but
well, you know,
no, what even my grandpa and my grandma, they weren't together. Uh, well, they weren't together. I'll put it that way. And they were still married though. They wouldn't get divorced and marry somebody else. They stayed married. Um, had to have been at least 50, 60 years.
well, I think one of my rules was this right here. Me and my wife would not work together. Okay. For the simple fact is, I knew how guys talk to women. I knew how women talk to guys.
Yeah,
If I was around my wife in hearing distance and some guy said something I didn't like, that'd been it, you
yeah,
know. And I think the time come, a woman can take care of herself pretty well much. But when the woman comes up to the guy and says, you need to do this, you need to do that, trust me, she's done everything she can to keep this guy off of him or her. And she done the right thing by coming up to you saying this, because if it got back to you, then the chances is going to be, well, you running around on me or something like that. Why didn't you tell me this? You know, and I'm kind of old fashioned. I think the woman is the backbone of the house. Okay.
oh
I
yeah,
think I think the man needs to go out, bust his ass 6 days a week. All right. That's how I done it. That's how I was raised. And I mean, God, I can go into a lot of things on this right here. But the way youngins are
yeah,
being raised now is like, if I go out and work, damn state's going to give me money for sitting on my tail. You
yeah,
know, that ain't it. That is not what it's about. What it's about is your morals, your your respect, how you treat people, and the number one thing is probably gone now is your word is your bond. That's how I was raised. You gave
yeah,
your word to somebody, you would, the only way you'd break it is you was in the hospital or dead.
yeah.
Kids
When you
today,
had pride in your job
yeah, you
or
did.
your craft or whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
and that's the same. That's why, like a lot of times we're having all these shortages and stuff is because people are sitting home. Oh, I can make more money sitting here. Yeah, but the job that you were doing is going to some kid that's going to be working there for a week and then quitting, never learning what he's doing,
Hmm.
or that it's nobody's doing it, and oh, we got shortages because so and so's there's nobody here doing that job,
Well, look at
and
it
you
like this.
multiply that by all over the country. And how is the government paying you this money? Yeah, it doesn't make
Well,
sense.
let me see if I can't help you out on this. Right now, for the ones who are sitting at home on their tails, getting paid for doing nothing, the ones who are working are the ones paying for them not doing nothing.
Yeah,
Now, I'm going to go one step further. For people like us, and I'm going to say 101, prepping 101's generation, okay? Their refunds has ran out. We are working on our grandkids' funds, Social Security.
oh
That's
yeah,
who we're on. You know, it. God, there's a bunch of youngins I wish I could snatch up
yeah.
and make go to work, but you can't do that no more.
No.
Dogmar, congratulations. She just celebrated her 50 years of being
Oh
married.
wow. Yeah, that's great.
It is. Uh, Back when I was in the dating scene, me and my wife, this is the part I have a problem with. There's a 12, 11. We met for the very first time, February the 9th. It was ice and snow all over the road. I was so damn drunk I could not walk, but yet she got in the car with me. I had her home by 11 o'clock. I was thinking it was about 2:30 and 3. We dated for over a year and we got married. And we've been together ever since. People nowadays, they date 2 or 3 times, they get married. 6 months, they're breaking up, getting a divorce.
Yeah,
Me and my wife, we grew up in a time if something was broke, you fixed it, or you done your best to fix it.
yeah.
You didn't throw it out the door
Damn
or
that.
throw it in the trash.
Yeah, I remember for when I met my wife, and it's a weird story. Whenever, because I was working at Carnival, and uh, sh- I got her to come over and spend money, and we started talking, and because I was there for a whole week, and we got to know each other and whatnot, and then she ended up going on the road with me, and then we were together for, she's at least a year and a half before we talked about getting married.
Yeah. Now,
And this
if
is in the 90s, so
my sister-in-law, my wife probably come in here and chew me out for telling y'all this. My sister-in-law dated her husband for damn near 30 years. I thought it was 20. That's a long, long ass time, period.
yeah, there's some people just don't believe in the whole. They think it's when you get married, that ruins it, and then you end up splitting up after that. I've known people together longer than most marriages.
I'm going to say one thing, and I might be opening my mouth a little bit more than I should on this. Biggest part of times when two people get married, they think, oh shit, I can get laid anytime I want. No, it ain't that. It's not that.
No,
That's when shit really starts. people say if you can survive the first year, you got it made. That's wrong. If you can survive the first 5 years of
Well,
marriage,
they say the seven. You know, the
is it
7 year
seven?
7 year itch.
No, it
It's
wasn't
not
no,
not you got a rash or something. It means
as a
you
saying.
want you want something different.
Yeah, but if you can survive those years, everything else is whooped. You got it beat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing I was going to talk about right there is because it used to be um, the whole dating thing. It used to be your parents would invite over 4 or 5 guys, and you'd sit down and talk with the parents there and figure out which one was the best out of the options, and go for there. Or sometimes it was like, hey, you married this guy over here because he owns the so and so, or his dad owns the hardware store, and eventually, you know,
Well, now, for
um,
some of us, if y'all remember correctly, the parents would sit down and give the date, male or female, regardless, the third degree.
oh
Who's
yeah,
your parents? Where was y'all raised? How was y'all raised? Yada, yada, yada. Like that. Well, I found out in my later years by listening to the adults talk. The reason they done that is because y'all may be kin somewhere along the line, and you don't want that. I know it sounds funny and everything, but it's the honest to God truth.
oh yeah, yeah. Who's your what was your grandma's name and your grandpa's
Yeah,
name and all that stuff? Oh, really? Is that him? Whoops. Next.
right.
Yep.
Uh, 101 possibly go as far as third cousins, kissing cousins.
Yeah.
But I mean, just say, for the ones who can still talk to your parents, ask them, why did y'all give them the third degree and so forth? I about bet you what I just said will come up in that conversation.
Yeah, I've said it before. My daughter had a date uh honk his horn out front, and she started going for the door. I said, "Oh hell no!" I said, "If he ain't got enough respect to come up here and meet you and get you at the door, you're not going anywhere." He honked at it for a couple more times, and finally came up, and I answered the door, and I said, "Bye." That was the end of that.
Well, my daughter told me years later, I scared off a whole bunch of them
Oh yeah,
just talking to them over the telephone. They wouldn't call back. And next door neighbor, well, a couple of doors down, wanted to date my daughter. And he was scared to death of me to ask me to date her.
got a talking to. Yeah, I'm like dating beforehand. None of that is a thing no more. Nobody dates anymore. It's like you don't go meet somebody at some place to get to know them or anything. It's like everything's on the little square little screen. Um, because
Uh,
I've tried since my wife's passed, and nowadays it's oh, you sound cool and everything. Come on over and do the thing and whatnot. And I'm like, what? You don't even know my middle name. Uh, and it's weird. It's like you just talk to somebody and it's not, you don't even talk to them. It's
Right.
text. And what the hell? I could be, well, I can't say it, but I could be one of those bad peoples.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I
Well,
to me, I want to get to know somebody. I've done the whole the friends with benefits thing and all that, and
there's another
uh,
subject we can get into. I don't think a man and a woman could be just friends like that. I mean, I don't think it's possible. Okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't think it is.
And how could you? I mean, it's everybody's thing to find somebody, fall in love, and then get married, and in that. I mean, how do you go out and talk to somebody or text somebody for 5-6 hours or whatever, and then say, "Oh,
Mhm.
let's go my place or your place and get busy," and or they 10 minutes and they send you a nudie picture. What?
If they sent me a nude picture the first go round, I wonder how many other guys have seen the same thing.
Yeah, how
You know,
that was my first thought. I'm like, how how do you send somebody something like that? And they asked for me, and I thought, no. And it makes no sense to me. I mean,
well,
like I said, everybody wants to have that long marriage and um, a good marriage and whatnot. How do you get that when you're texting somebody for a day or so, and then you go and hook up and whatnot, and then, like you said, not even 30 days and ready to get married, and then, oh, wonder why it didn't work out a year later because you don't know each other because you didn't spend the time to get to know a person.
any man or woman can put on a good show to
Oh yeah.
get what they got. If you really want to see how a person is, go to their house early in the morning, get their ass out of bed, see how their attitude is, see what they look like without makeup. You know, do that a couple of times. And another thing, and I've said it time and time again, I'm old school. If I now I'm scared to death to date to get back in that dating
Oh
scene.
yeah.
But if I did have to do that, you let a female break out a cell phone and start texting. That's it. There will not be a second date. I think when you're trying to meet somebody, you are there 101. Sorry, Preston. You are to talk to him, and he is to talk to you eye to eye, face to face.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, you can tell a hell of a lot about a person when you look at them eye to eye. Oh Lord. I'm surprised that man's still walking.
Yeah,
But
I mean, there's nothing wrong with texting here and there and saying, you know, good morning and whatnot, but that can't be the whole the whole relationship. That's how you. For me, that's not how you start a relationship. You want to say, hey, we're gonna go. I'll go come by your place, or if you don't feel comfortable, we'll meet at so and so, and then we'll go out and get something to eat, or we'll go shoot pool, or we'll go bowling, or go to the movies, something like that, to where we can sit down and communicate and talk and whatnot.
Right.
There is none of that no more.
Now, Prepping 101 said, I hate girls with too much makeup. I'm right there with you. I prefer real little to none. I
Yeah.
want to see the true beauty of a person, you know, and I'm not crazy on girls walking around with their ass hanging out the shorts or their top about to fall out of the shirt. You know, I want old school. I think, my opinion only, okay, I think there is nothing, no more sexier than a woman in a dress. And I'm not talking low cut to where when she moves left or right, they're going to flip out. I'm talking, I mean, look, yeah, that's me. Like I said, that's me. Okay. And I am not into the 6-inch heels or more. Put them pair of flats on. Wear something you're comfortable in.
Oh, I never understood those high heel things, because you know dang well those things ain't comfortable at all. Why you stick your foot in a little toe end and then try to balance it on that little toe all dang day?
Now we need a
Oh,
female up
I'll
here.
be 3 inches taller. Who who cares? Oh, I don't know what the deal is with the high heel things.
Well, we need a female up here to give us a woman's point of view on that one. But you know, yeah, to me, all of the person's weight is going toward feet and their toes. How in
Yeah,
the sham hell is that comfortable?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, my wife used to wear because she had freckles, so she would cover them up with makeup. And I said, no, I like the freckles. I said, you don't have to cover them up.
Look, it's like this. I've told my wife a few times, I married her for her, not who I want her to be.
Yeah,
Plain and simple, you know.
and she always, I understand that. Oh, I want to get dolled up and um, look nice, go out on a date and whatnot. And I said, yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with that. It's just it,
Putting
you can
makeup on
go
them
out with
paintbrushes.
the t-shirt and jeans. I said that I'm going out with you, not what you're wearing or what you put on your face or anything like that.
I'm laughing at what life's posted, but a little makeup to no makeup, and I am not talking about putting it on with a damn paintbrush or roller either.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I don't know. I don't. Sister in Christ. That now, do those things hurt your feet?
when you're standing on them. Now I know they make the calves of a woman's leg look good, but I want to see what they really like. Like I said, anybody, male or female, can put on a good act for a little while.
Oh yeah.
And you are right about, I think if a woman is dressed up and she looks good, she'll be in a better mood.
Yeah.
I do believe in that heavy, hard and heavy. But oh God, what I want to say on this one. But to put makeup on and look like a whore, I'm sorry. Bye. You know.
Oh yeah, there's a difference between, like I said, getting all dolled up to go. You're going on a date and whatnot. Even when you're together, you have those date nights where you go out and it's just you and your wife.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like who was that? That oh, it used to be um oh dang, I can't remember their names now. I think they ended up going to jail or something. They did the church thing on TV.
Oh, he
She had
Bill
so much makeup. I bet you it took her half the day to put that stuff on.
Jim was his first name. Tammy Baker.
Was
Baker.
that? I think that was it.
Jim and Tammy Baker.
Yeah, and I was like, why you have that much makeup on?
And I will keep my mouth shut on that one.
Oh yeah, I mean there's dance clubs and stuff, but I don't think that people go out on a date going dancing anymore. I think it's you go out to meet somebody
You
that's
go
dancing on the
stay
dance floor.
and you hook up in the parking lot and then you go back in. That's it. That's bull.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, I'm sorry. There are still diseases out there that penicillin will not take care of.
Yeah, and one of them's Fauci was supposed to
uh,
get rid of in the 80s.
uh,
I'm not an expert, but that's what he said. I'm not misleading anybody.
well,
I don't want to get in trouble.
that's backroom what I need to say. But now, coming up, you had girls who set their standards so damn high, no man could meet them.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you'll look at them nowadays, you'll see they drop their standards to gutter.
Gold diggers, you mean?
Yeah, more
Is
or
a
less.
nice word they called them.
But I mean, I can understand prepping for or preparing for the future, but not like that. Hello, Miss Lisa.
Hey
Hello,
Lisa.
Giggles.
Hey
What
Giggles.
like? So, I mean, you make your bed, you lay in it. That's what I was taught,
Yeah.
and that's what I go by. My son dated his wife, I'm going to say for about a year. My daughter, she dated her husband a year. Come think about it. Hell, they both dated for about a year, you know. And I mean, so on and so on like that. But
Yep.
what gets me is my daughter's very first date. She come in there and asked me. She said, "There's a guy I go to school with. I kind of like, and we wanting to kind of go out on a date." I sat there and I listened to her and everything. I said, "All right, where are we going?" Come on now. And after the first date with him, I looked at her and she said, "You ain't got to worry about a second date." That boy right there, I wanted to choke before, and I think all fathers are like that.
Oh yeah, you can't say anything though.
You want to bet?
Well, I mean, uh, they want your kids want your opinion, but if you tell them, well, I don't think this a good match for you or anything, that's going to get the opposite reaction there.
Exactly.
Because um, my son had a couple different girlfriends,
I think,
and I could always tell if it was going to last or if it wasn't going to last or if they were a good match or anything.
yeah.
But I didn't say anything because that's part of life. They got to learn this stuff. And of course, that first breakup and they're all down
Oh,
in the dumps and stuff.
oh my God. Especially with a girl.
Yep.
And I think every girl wants a husband like their father was. And I think every boy wants a wife like their mother. It's got the same qualities. I'll put
Yep.
it like that. Now, back in my day, when I was still living at home, I only heard my mom and daddy argue one time in my life. That's it. I
Hmm.
know, and they didn't talk about nobody that I heard like parents do today, you know, or they had a little bit of morals to them back
Oh
then.
yeah.
If they talked about somebody, it wasn't around youngins, okay? Especially if a man and woman got separated,
Oh,
okay?
I know where you're going with
Mom,
this.
Mama didn't talk about the father in front of the youngins or vice versa. Well,
Yeah,
that's the way it's supposed to be. You know,
they sure do now.
you tell
Your
me
daddy
about,
is this, your daddy is that, or your mom is this and your mom is that. That's that is so that's a horrible thing to do to your kids.
it
Um,
is, it is,
is to
because
tell how bad, even if they are. Um,
let them figure it out.
yeah, they know. They don't have to be told how bad the other
Well,
parent is and stuff. That's one thing that irritates me. You see these shows and stuff where they're yelling on the phone about their their other when the kids are sitting there like, no, I would never do that. I mean, if a person was so bad, a horrible person, I mean, I've never um, the the first girl I was with, we were both too young and had a daughter, and yeah, I wouldn't. I'm still friends with her now. Um, we talk on Facebook and stuff all the time, and it just didn't work out. It was one of those things. We were just too young and everything, and there was no hate involved in it. I I I don't see the point of hating somebody that long over. I mean, there are some things that are really bad, but the more you think about it, the more it stays on your mind. It'll make you a bad person too.
well, when I was
That's
coming
why
up,
we're supposed to forgive people and stuff like that.
yeah,
Sometimes it is hard. I'm not saying that you be the perfect person and forgive everybody that does anything bad to you, but when there's a kid involved and stuff, you have to put that stuff. It's a no more subject. The only subject is supposed to be for that kid, raising that kid the right way.
What life? That is the number one key right there. Honesty between a husband and a wife.
Oh yeah.
Let me rephrase that between two people. I know this world's done got messed up, but uh
Oh,
it
don't get me started on that. We can't call you if you're married to somebody, you can't call them a husband or wife. They're your partner.
bullshit. Well, I can understand that to an extent, but
Well,
your
when you
partner
get
has got
married,
more say so in one area than the other does, and not by choice, by
well, you're partners, but that's not the title I would put it. I would say you're my wife. No, oh, you can't say that. We're partners. I mean, when you do get well, unless they changed it now. When you get married, you take the so and so to be your loving husband, and all that stuff, and you take her to be your wife. That's
yeah,
the titles you're given, husband and wife. Now
yeah,
they're
them
saying
words.
that it's not you're not a husband and wife anymore. You're partners. Yes,
Yeah,
you are
those
partners.
words.
That to me, that's not a title that for being married.
Well, I do know that them words were not in our vows and everything. And I asked the justice of the peace what happened to the words. And we made a joke out of it. He said, would you want to, are you going to obey her anyway, whether I say it or not? you know, but no, I can, man, we could go on and on about this,
Oh
right?
yeah,
But if you really want to, two people who go to church and fully believe in Jesus and God will have those words put in their vows. You
yeah.
know,
Whenever, because my wife, she was Catholic. Her parents brought her up that way and everything, and so for them, I forget what it's called, but it's a certain class that you have to take
yeah,
um, before you can get married, and it's like 6 months, and it was two nights a week. We
10
went down
TVs,
and huh?
10 TVs in chat.
Oh, 18. Yes. You we went there. It was about an hour and a half, depending on how much we started talking. And we got to know more about each other, and you learn about uh the bond of being married and what it means and stuff like that. Um, and I learned a lot of stuff uh, while I was there, and I thought it was a good thing. And now you don't hear there's none of that.
No.
Um, very,
Well,
I
no.
mean, it's still there, but you hardly see that anymore. And I tried to tell my kids that was on your mom's side of the family. That's what she believed, that before you get married, you got to do these classes. And I said it's not a hard class or anything like that. It's just you go in, um, you sit down and you talk and whatnot. I said I enjoyed it.
Well,
Um,
now that
you know,
class will make a couple truly think, do they want to get married or not?
Yeah.
And there are questions. Now, mind you, I never been to one of them classes, but I had a cousin who was a preacher, and before he married somebody, they had to go to his class to do that. And he was saying some of the questions that he asked, and they wasn't trick questions. He
Oh yeah.
wanted to know what you thought from the heart on that, you know, and so forth. I'm sitting there thinking, you got to be kidding some of these questions,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say none of them, but okay, hold on. Let me back
Yeah.
up.
I'm trying to find it. I was going to tell you, but I see you found it already. I can't find it. How far back was it?
Wait a minute. I'm still looking.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
What a coincidence, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, your second husband's an awesome dude with a name like that. Bushcraft would probably say the same thing, you know.
Yep.
But I was always told coming up by my uncles and aunts and so forth. What about redheads? That's a
Yeah.
different category there.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
if
got
you
plenty of
wanted to
trouble with
find
redheads.
a good mate, go to church. You can find a good man or woman. Well, I got something to say now about that. 99% are there for the show. That 1% is going to be true and loyal. You've got to weave your way through the bad to get to the
Oh
good.
yeah.
And normally, the time you finally find a good one is too late.
Yeah. And
I,
that's the hard part though. When they say you only get you only get one person, the soulmate and everything. And like my case, I lost mine, and it was really hard to, and it still is to think of, even though she's been gone for almost 20 years now.
I
It's
didn't
still
know
hard
that.
to try to move on past that. I've had a lot of hard times trying to um, well, when the kids were growing up, I didn't want to, because I did the stepmom thing. I had some very bad stepmoms. I've had a stepmom beat me over the head with a old Pepsi bottle, which didn't do any, because I got a hard head. Um, but that was beside the point. Um, and I didn't want to bring a stepmom in for them um,
Hate, dislike.
to witness any of that, because I mean, it's not a good thing for you to bring, because I live with it. My dad went through, oh, a lot of women, and most were really really bad, and it. I didn't want that for my kids when I was raising them, and so I didn't. I did the whole single dad thing until they were all grown up. All my kids are all raised and everything. And that I would talk to women and whatnot, and then that little thing in the back of my mind was, is this person going to be mean to my kids? Because I always said that my main priority in life is my kids. Said anything past that, I said, if you don't understand that, and I like I said, I tried. Um, and the first flag popped up when I said, well, I got football practice with my kids, and they would get upset about me going to football practice instead of spending time with them. And boop, that was the end of it. I said, because I always told them, I said, if at any point to where I think there's a conflict between you and my kids, it's over. I said that no more talk. Because I
Well,
wanted to make
I'm
sure
like
my
this.
kids didn't have to witness any of that.
Well, I'm kind of like this right here. Man or woman, your kids come first, straight up. If what you know,
Well,
if two people do get married, they have a couple of kids, but it don't work out, and uh, they ended up getting together again or whatever or so forth, and the other one don't like the kids or whatever. I mean, I'm sorry. These kids are my life. You know, it would be
yeah,
nice if you would be in it, but if you got that much hatred toward my kids, there's the door. Don't let it hit you.
yeah,
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 you know,
or that jealousy between a kid and the mate.
right. And my kid's not going off no damn boarding school to satisfy you either.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know it. No, you want me happy? Let me be around my kids to where I can go see them or talk to them whenever I want.
Yeah,
If you want to
and
come,
that
come
was
on.
the thing that women were attracted to, because I was single and I was raising my kids the right way and whatnot. And that was attractive. But when they got in a relationship, they didn't. They was like, oh, well, I'm second place, and I was like, yeah, the kids come first.
Hmm. I
I
mean,
said,
I'm sorry. That's it. You know, get used to it. Well, I can't say that this day and time.
yeah,
And right there is another segment on that. Yeah, how one person can have so many kids by different mothers.
oh boy.
How in the hell do they survive? They got
Well,
to eat more. No, I'm talking about the father because you know the mamas is going to take them to court to get money out of them.
yeah,
And after the courts is done with them, he ain't going to have no money.
yeah, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, um, I talked to somebody, um, and it probably wasn't a couple days in the conversation, and they were telling me about their kids. And conversation going pretty good. And, well, so and so, they were naming their kid's name. Oh, that's from father number three. And, oh, this one's from two, and this one's from five, and this one's from six. And I'm like, no, there's something wrong there.
Well,
She had six kids, and every one of them was from different fathers.
did you see where that woman was pregnant with her 17th child. She's already
17?
17. She's already got 16 and fixing to have 17. And the good thing about it is they all got the same daddy.
Oh, I mean,
After 9, I would have died. Well, after 5, 4, 5, I would have been dead.
I
I
mean,
mean, can you imagine daddy, daddy, daddy from all of
not the daddy part. That part would.
them? Yeah, I'm too old for that now. I'm sorry. I mean, I love my grandyoungers, don't get me wrong. But that whining and crying, it drives me insane.
Yeah,
You
it's
still,
not an easy thing when you're single parent. That's why I because normally it is a woman that's a single parent that has to do both roles and everything. Um, I hats off to those women that do that because I know how it is. I was in some things, like I said, it's hard. I got um, I sat on the side of the bathtub with my daughter and actually shaved my legs to teach her how to shave her own legs. And I walked around with one hairless leg for a good while. A lot of people wondering what was going on, but because I wear shorts most of the time, and stuff like that is it's harder because you have to have them certain conversations that your wife would have with your daughter.
embarrassing conversations for
Yeah,
the guy. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying, but we've we have mainly talked about marriage and everything, but I do want to give a shout out to the single daddies out there who are really stepping up, doing their job
yeah,
as a father.
yeah, and
Well,
mothers too.
yeah, but I mean, you hear a lot about moms, single
Yeah,
moms. You very seldom hear anything about single fathers, or you don't hear enough of fathers going into a marriage, raising two kids as his own.
yeah,
You don't hear about that much either.
yeah.
You know,
And
and
I've known a few guys that came into a marriage or that had kids and ended up adopting because the previous father was nowhere around.
we'll see. My son stepped in to that relationship. He treats her as if she was his own. You
Yeah,
know,
that's good, and that's rare too.
it is. I think it depends on how your youngin is raised. It's how they're going to turn out in life.
Yeah,
Now, trust me when I say this. My parents raised me right, but when I hit 16 to when I was now, I'm on my own. I went my own way.
yeah.
From 16 to 20, I was hell on wheels, no doubt.
Oh, and that's the thing. You say your parents raised you right.
Yeah,
Um,
they done their
that's not
best.
always that because I didn't have that. Unfortunately, I can't very much blame my dad because something happened that flipped a switch in him, and it was uh, when my mom died. Well, I shouldn't say died. She was murdered.
Okay.
Um, and that after that happened, he went to the bottle. And like I said, sometimes we would. I've been to every state except for the ones where you have to go swimming, but um, I've been to every state. I've lived in every state um, because we would go to a state, he would go to work or something, and then he'd get depressed, and then that's when the drinking would start, and then he would get in trouble, and he would either be in jail or he would leave the state and have a warrant out for his arrest. So
Jim, you have a good evening and be
that's what happened in because there's a lot of people out there now that says that it's they blame it on that's the way the person was brought up. You know, it's not his fault. That's the way he was brought up, and that doesn't mean anything to me because I don't say I'm a perfect person or anything like that, but I think I'm a good person. I raised my kids. They stayed in the same school and everything. They're all doing good and whatnot. And I think I did good. And the way I grew up, you would never thought that. And that's what I mean, it's easier when you are brought up right because you know the ways you're supposed to be and whatnot. But I think for me, I knew what not to do because I knew the way I grew up, and I didn't want my kids growing up that way. So that's the way I went. You know what I mean?
You catch chat
Yeah.
101 wants the link.
Yeah, I got it.
I will say this right here. As I was coming up, my father always worked, period. He never missed a paycheck. And in order for him not to miss a paycheck, I didn't have nobody to throw a ball with or, like that.
Yeah.
If I spent time with my father, I had to go to work with him. And trust me, working with your father is no easy task. But and when my son come up, I broke the mold. I played with my youngins or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You did like I said, it's
Isn't that like every parent or every eventual parent's goal to be better than their parents? Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, somewhat, yeah.
well, you want your kids to have the best education. The reason is so they can have a better job, so they don't have to get in the ditches and shovel it out and to do the shit work. In other words, that we did when we came up.
Well, I'll say this. I didn't finish college, but I went to college. So on paper, all I got is a high school education. And I'm doing just fine.
Yep. People think I'm full crap when I say I finished the in school. The only thing I actually finished throughout was second grade.
What?
Other than that, yeah, I went to like say third grade. I only went maybe a month or something, and then we moved to another town, and then I would pick up on fourth grade and go 2-3 months.
I thought you said you only have a second grade or third grade education. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up.
Technically, yeah, I do. Even though I've done every grade. Well, not every grade, but because I got kicked out of high school. But I went and got my GED. Um, I went to trade school, which is Job Corps.
Right.
I
That's what I
I
did.
went and, got certified as a bricklayer, block layer, tile layer. Then I went and did welding, got certified in welding and stuff. But
I'm one semester away from being certified in welding.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
well, you get certified in like you do the acetylene gas, and you get certified in that.
Yeah.
Then you go to ARC, and then MIG, and then TIG. I didn't do the.
I
I did the MIG, but
refuse. I refuse to do TIG. I'm sorry.
yeah, TIG was. It's real touchy. You have to take in count for the thickness of what you're doing, and
Well, I also had bad experiences with that. Like the time I tried to teach myself that, I damn near blew up the high school. Uh, I lit the oxyacetylene on fire. Faulty equipment, but either way.
Well, now, my daddy, he never finished third grade, but that was the smartest man I know of. There wasn't nothing he could not do. Me, I finished ninth grade. All right. That was one thing me and my wife were both advocate on. Our youngins were
yeah,
definitely going to finish. My
yep.
son was in the 12th grade, and the teacher told him she did not like him. He was not going to pass. So he quit in the 12th grade. He went back. He made Dean's List.
Damn.
He went to college. He's got degrees, and he was, I think, first or second in his class to graduate in
Damn.
college. Yeah. My daughter went back to school. She got her GED. Now she's fixing to become a licensed realtor.
I hope that the teacher that told your son that, oh, I hate him, this, that, I hope he gave her a giant fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
He didn't do it. I wanted him to do it so damn bad. I offered to drive him to the school, and I would walk in the class with him. He wouldn't do it.
oh, shit.
And the funny thing about it is, her last name was also Bear.
Oh, the irony.
Yeah, boy. But a
Barely
few
possible.
years of sitting and thinking about it,
Oh, shit.
my son did do the right thing.
Slip her off?
And no, not doing what I wanted him to do to begin with. But I mean, hey, look, he went. He also went to college, technician. Okay, man, he ranked way on up there. Now he works since he got out of school when he was 19. He's been doing power. Okay, let's say he's a lineman now.
Oh, that's dangerous.
That is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
And he is also ADHD. His mind wanders. And he says, you're not going to believe this, but when I'm up around all that live voltage and everything, my mind don't wander. He said, and I will check, double check, and triple check to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be before he touches anything.
Well, one thing I can say from having ADD myself, not ADHD, I'm just not hyper. It's a blessing and a curse. Okay, there are times I'm hyper focused and don't get in my way. I will fix this. I will finish this. I will do it right. And then there's other times it's like, ooh, what's that over there?
Well, now I got one grandson who is ADD, got another one who is ADHD. And the oldest one has got ADHD. Okay, he's wide open. My son, when we worked together, I was about the only one who could keep up with him. Now, I could not keep up with him, but come 3 o'clock, my ass was wore out. He was wanting to keep going. I told him, I said, hell no, son, it's time for me to rest. I'm older than you are.
One thing I can say, like working in construction, I was like the Energizer Bunny, but I'm paying for it now, man.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm older. Like I used to do that in my early 20s. Like
You ain't felt nothing yet.
I know.
Oh.
If this is what if this is 1/10 of what I have to look forward to at y'all ages, like no.
Wait till you hit 40.
Fuck.
Now, I will say this, and I'm going to be nice about it. 40 is when shit starts falling apart. When you hit 60, everything's done falling apart, and you wondering how in the hell you still going. Between the two of y'all, how many has baled hay?
What now?
How between Bushcraft and 101, have either one of y'all baled hay?
Depends on what you mean by baled hay. Do you mean towing the baler behind the tractor, or are you talking like pitchfork and
like square bales, picking it up off the ground, throwing it up on the trailer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
Okay. My son, the first year in working like that. Now the boy's pretty damn strong, don't get me wrong. They had a trailer and the guy didn't stack it right. When they rounded the curve, the top of it fell off in the road. He's standing on the ground. He's got 3 bales left. And the boy says, throw it up here to me, I'll catch it. He threw it up there to him and knocked his ass off the top of the hay.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Now, mind you, that's his second time that day of doing the same damn trailer. For him to still have that much energy, that boy never did say that to him again.
He learned.
But, I mean, shit. My son is a hell of a lot stronger than I'll have ever thought about being. And I thought I was pretty strong coming up about his age.
Oh no!
Yeah, I've done the throwing of the hay and the stacking, both.
I have to.
I wouldn't say I have the type of strength that's like required for the burst energy like that. It's more of the endurance type strength. Like I said, I've toted 3/4-inch OSB plywood single-handedly upstairs, a spiral staircase, mind you, and back when I did construction, and I don't know, I just don't have that. If I were to fling something like the hay up top there, that just I don't have that in me.
Well, see, my son has got the strength and the endurance.
That's just stupid strong.
Well, he'll be 41 here.
He'll feel it.
On the first. He was 41.
I remember I used to pick up stuff that was way too heavy. I shouldn't. If I could tell myself, my younger self, don't do that stuff.
Okay, let me put it in perspective real quick. 50-pound bag of concrete. Well, I'm only 100 pounds. So
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on that. We used to throw cement, the mix
Yeah,
in the big shovels, throw it way up
I've done that.
2-3
you
stories.
throw it way up, catch it on the shovel.
No, they
Have a pan there.
yeah, they would catch it in the pan because you couldn't. It's not like you can roll the wheelbarrow up there, or it just takes too long to get a shovel full and then walk up the
Yeah,
scaffolding and whatnot. So you just slung it up, and that's why both my shoulders are.
I've done that.
If I move my shoulders, if I put it, you could hear them grinding.
Well,
My
something
elbows are
else
same way.
forgive you if you get the pan too full because shit's gonna come back out on you. I've done.
or
I'll tell you
or you
something
miss.
else too. Try throwing brick up 3, 4, and 5 stories.
Yep.
That I would prefer to throw
Fuck
mud up
that
than I had
shit.
brick. No, dude, that's what you had to do.
Well,
To
no, that's
avoid
like I
paycheck.
can just see that. I can just see that turning into a Home Alone 2 moment where Kevin's chucking the bricks off the roof of the. Yeah.
You
Well,
make sure if he doesn't grab that brick, you make sure you
move.
look way back out of the way because that brick's coming back down.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, see, I mean, I reckon that falls into this category. A parent does what they have to do to provide for their family back then. Whether you hated it, you had to do it. You know, somebody had to do it. And my first paycheck, knowing that, after taxes and everything was taken out, just a little over $100.
Yeah. I remember getting paid $2.25 an hour.
I think that's about what mine was, a 40-hour work week. And
I was real excited to get when they raised it to $3.35 an hour.
What the fuck?
And you think about it now, it's like
I was getting
dang.
paid 14 when I was doing that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Times have changed big time. People nowadays don't know what it. Oh hell! When me and my wife went and bought, we done rented an apartment, done had our first youngin, the whole 9 yards. We had a
But
Vega.
you got to
It's
remember
all-
that back then the money went further too.
Yeah, but we bought $60 worth of groceries. We had the back seat, the back floorboard, and the trunk of a Vega slam packed full of groceries. And somewhere in the midst of them groceries was our newborn youngin. $65. Okay.
Not in the car seat either.
Believe it or not, he was. That's
Oh.
when they first started all that shit.
Oh, okay.
And like me and the wife was talking the other day, you go buy $65 worth of groceries, you can put that shit in the glove box of a Volkswagen.
Yeah. I remember my dad had I think it was 1980s style Cadillac 4-door.
Oh my God.
And it was white and maroon. He had bought it in like the early 2000s, and it still had the cross waist seat belts, not the shoulder seat belts.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It was the older style, and it had the square buckles, and I was like, yeah, I like this retro shit. Had the ashtrays in the car and all that.
Well,
Yep.
like I said, my son works for a power company, and he has to pull lines from pole to pole every so often. I have seen him when he pulls them lines, the great big wooden spool will be
Yeah.
sitting there spinning. He's done pulled it so damn hard.
Damn.
I'm sitting there, I'm thinking,
How
hemorrhoids,
much
here we
fuck?
go.
Those lines on those spools are multiple tons.
Exactly. But I have seen him spin that damn spool when he pulls them lines. But starting out is a pain in the ass. You get it going, hey, you got it made then. Like I said, he was standing on the ground. He throwed up a bale of hay and hit the boy and knocked his ass off. I would literally hate for him to jack me up. Still there, 101?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I heard something go. Yeah. But like I said, he's 41. I don't think he is as strong as he used to be, but he's
Yeah,
still pretty damn strong.
$1.80 an hour.
In 91,
$1.80.
you must have been a waitress.
Well, says nurse's
No,
aide.
she says a nurse aide. Damn. Sassy cat, I feel for you, lady. I really
Yeah.
do. Oh.
Yeah, I've had
One,
some wonky old jobs, I'll tell you.
you know,
But you had to, is you had to make that money.
What were you going to
yeah,
say, Jeff?
you had to keep a roof over your head, food on the table.
Yeah, couldn't call Uncle Sam up. Oh, I can't get a job.
I
Oh.
don't want to go there with that one.
When did they start doing that with the? I remember they had food stamps in the 80s. You remember the actual? You got the books.
Yeah, you got the books. I
Because
think the cards come out started coming out in the mid to late 90s. I may be wrong on that.
I don't know. I remember you could, not saying it did, but you could buy them books for like 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah. And depending on who you know, if you was running low on gas, you could get gas to go in your car.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I do. I know that. I mean, look, everybody in chat and up on panel has gone through some stuff then that you would raise an eyebrow today that you had, you know, and well, I can't say up here, but I've done some shady stuff in my day.
Don't say it up here.
No. But I mean, look, when I say true parent, I'm talking about somebody who does what they can to provide for their family. But a true parent does what they have to do as long as it's. I don't want to go there. Will do just about anything to keep food and the roof over their head.
Yeah.
I'll put it like that.
Don't mess with a soccer mom with a revolver.
Don't mess with a soccer mom, period. they will kick your ass quicker.
Fair enough.
And they have got a very short fuse.
That's at the point where they become a Karen.
I've seen some of these Karens on YouTube. I just want to sit back and laugh at them.
I know, right?
I mean, they think they missed Billy Badass. You let
Only
them run up
45 an
against
hour. Oof. But you think back to that time. That was money back then.
Yeah, it was.
Nowadays,
I mean,
they make $15 an hour, and they still don't have enough money to. If one thing breaks or happens, you're not going to make it to the next payday.
I remember my daddy saying when he was a boy coming up, he was making something like 10 cents a day working, picking apples.
Again, the money went further back then.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell, no doubt.
I picked tomatoes for 25 cents. It's not a 5-gallon bucket. They're bigger buckets. In Florida,
Bushel.
I was picking tomatoes, and I couldn't pick the containers up, but I drug them there, and they would load them, and you get a ticket, and at the end of the day, you turn in the tickets and get your money.
Are you talking about a bushel basket?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhat. It was plastic, but and I was the white kid out there with the immigrants doing that work. Everybody got paid the same and whatnot. And like I said, I was so young that I couldn't pick up the bucket, and that's how I survived. Because my dad was in jail at the time, so that's what I had to do to survive. And that was 25 cents and we picked tomatoes green.
What happened to child labor laws?
You don't have them. I mean, they don't check for if you're a citizen or anything like that.
Oh.
Now let me tell you a funny story.
One of those.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's one of those employers that they don't check for anything. They just want to get their fields picked.
Well, now I'm going to say about 25, maybe 30 years ago, I was working with Delta. We was working at the coast and we was coming back. I asked my cousin, I said, what the hell is all that white shit over there in them fields? He said, that's cotton. First time I ever saw a cotton field. He pulled over on side the road. And he said, if you really want to see what cotton feels like, go out there and pick you some.
Oh, yeah.
I jumped out of the truck. First thing I done was reach down there and grab that damn cotton, and that was the worst friggin' ass mistake I made.
Yeah.
All the picky, spiny. Oh.
Yes.
You end up with bloody fingers.
I don't see how in the hell people pick cotton all day long and not wear gloves.
Well, that's why they had
their hands are used to it.
That's why they had 1800s type help.
Well,
I'm sorry, I had to say it like that.
They still, well, not now, but I've done it, and if you get blood on the cotton, they don't take it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so you got to make sure you keep everything bandaged up good.
Damn. I didn't know that.
Yep. But if they see red on it, they won't take it.
Yeah, my cousin got cussed out for that shit. He knew it. But I mean, hey, look, as old as we are, we ain't seen everything. You know.
Oh, no. Yeah, you think back then. I thought that was a horrible job. Just think 10 years past that, or 20 years, and go
Mm-hmm.
back to the 1800s or further back. Er- Everybody's has those stories of rough times and whatnot.
I think every generation does. I really do. And the
Well,
roughest times is when they first got married.
now it's like, oh, my internet was out for 2 hours last night. That was
Yes,
horrible.
Well, you
That's
can't want. Well, okay, you can't want what you don't know about. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I'm saying back then we had the rough times. Now it's nowadays it's
But you had no
yeah,
concept of the internet back then, so you didn't
yeah.
no, we
feel the
didn't.
need. You didn't feel the need for it.
Well, 101, I'll tell you like this. And my daughter told me, y'all were the age where everything first started, the gaming, the internet, the computer, texting, and so forth, like that. We were too old. I mean, we know how to do it now, but
That's the 80s when
we
that
ain't
stuff
as
started.
good. We're not as good as the youngins are. I can't. My ass will not let me sit here in this chair for 16 hours a day on the computer.
Oh God, I used to do that for 12 years of
Oh,
my life, and I had to quit gaming. I quit gaming. I was addicted, and oh, I feel so much better now that I did. I will never pick up a controller unless it's like a single player game. I'm talking like, you know, Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Damn, Pac Man. Harvest Mary Moon, I've worked in the back of fields. Yeah, I know where you're coming from on that one.
Yep.
And to get a drop of tobacco sweat in your eye is the worst damn
Oh yeah.
feeling there is.
I did that too. And
A
some of the
drop of
people that
what?
does that forever, because you get this big old long knife to
Mhm.
to harvest. Well, they don't. I don't think they do it nowadays, do they? But you get a bundle of leaves and you get chop it and stick it in your bag.
But uh, a bit of what
Okay.
in your eye? What is it? Tobacco
Okay.
what?
What it is, you had to hang it
Oh,
in a barn for it to dry out.
Yeah.
Okay. And when there's two people, one on the ground and one up in the air that's hanging the sticks of tobacco. And it's so hot in there, it starts sweating. And when you look up, a bead of that tobacco juice is going to hit you right in the eye. And you want to talk about burn? That's about like, hell, it's worse than having alcohol poured in your eye.
Jalapeno. Yeah. Or even if it hits you in the face and your sweat rolls down on your
Yeah.
that burns.
Uh-huh. And when you go out picking it, make damn sure you wear long sleeves.
Oh yeah.
That's about like, hey, make sure you got long sleeves on when you're baling hay.
That stuff will cut you up. You'll be
Yeah,
all
well,
rashy and stuff all over you.
I prefer to roll around in the bale of insulation than have to go
Yeah.
oh
out
no,
with no slip.
no! I
Yeah.
refuse
Get
to. No.
people saying, "Oh, you have to wear a suit and stuff for this insulation. You put it up there." I'm like, it's falling down on top of me because I worked in
Yeah.
a, uh, those the tanks where the chemicals and stuff are in,
Oh,
and they
damn.
have insulation in them. And
Blown.
you take that down, and it falls all over you, and they're like
Oh
freaking
God,
out.
I've
And
had
I'm
that
like,
shit in my eyes, man. I hate it.
Mhm.
that's nothing. That fiberglass doesn't bother me none.
Oh God,
It does move.
I had this one time where it was like we had to crawl up in an attic to install ceiling fans and run the wires and shit. Oh my God, it. I came out from that attic. It was the old 1960s yellow insulation, not the pink stuff like you have today. The
Yeah.
the yellow stuff. Oh my God, I
Let me go
felt like I
one.
had needles in me for a week.
Ask before you take a cold shower to get them out.
Like I said, it took me a week to get that shit out.
Well, it sounds like you was messing with that roll insulation or the bats. Okay, I'll go one even worse than that. Blowed insulation. That is worse.
How so?
Well, it depends which kind you mean too, because now it's just um, they spray chemicals on the recycled newspaper and then blow it in.
Okay. Okay. What I'm talking about is like you cut a bag and it looks like a bat insulation. You're in the back of a truck putting it in a machine.
Oh, that's yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. That right there has got more fiberglass in it than the Pink Panther does. I'm sorry. But the first week I'd done it, I quit 3 times. And then he finally got me a pair of coveralls, a mask, and gloves. I still itched, but not as bad.
Yeah, I've never itched from insulation.
You are one lucky dude.
I did learn from different things from like tobacco. I said, "Ain't no way I'm wearing all them damn clothes." I had shorts on and tank top, and
Didn't take you
the
long,
next
did
week I had long sleeves and pants.
it?
I even had scarf around my neck.
Yeah.
You know, the bandana. Oh, because I used to I got used to straw from hay and stuff, and that didn't bother me after a while. But tobacco, oh, that tear you up.
Well, I had preferred to run through a corn patch, wide ass open, than to mess with that blowed insulation. Or what they call that stinging needles.
Razor blade grass.
Well, I've gone through that too.
Oh,
Some type of
stinging nettles.
yeah.
No, I've done that too.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep. I used to landscaping in Phoenix. So
Now I never
I've
messed
done that.
with sod.
And it wasn't really rolling, it was unrolling though.
I think where I found my calling in working was driving the dump truck. Yeah, I mean, I love the hell out of it. Hell, even today, I still want to crawl up and drive one of them trucks again, you know. And I drove one, oh hell, over 20 some years. And only had one wreck, and it wasn't my fault.
Yeah, I never drove anything big. I mean, professionally. I delivered parts until my tickets got too much.
Well, I had class B's. I could not legally. I could not drive a tractor trailer. Now I put it like that. Okay.
Yeah, nowadays I wouldn't want any part of that.
Hell no, not no more.
Seems like too many regulations. This and seems
when I got out of it, the DOT and the Highway Patrol was conversing, joining together. Now, I don't know about where y'all live, but here we don't foresay have DOT with portable scales. And if you know what you're doing, you can bust them scales all to hell. But I loved it.
Yeah, I think here they have the Highway Patrol has that stuff.
Yeah,
with them.
Okay. So you got it up. Well, see, when I was doing it, the blue cars were DOTs.
I remember those.
You hated when you saw the blue light come on one of them. Because guaranteed your ass was sitting on the side of the road for an hour. I have been in a truck where the DOT pulled me, go back to his car and get what I call a handheld sledgehammer. He would start at the back bumper. He would hit every damn thing on your truck. If anything moved or broke, he would shut you down right there on the spot until you got it fixed.
But what if he broke it with the sledgehammer?
You had to get it fixed, and you got a ticket. And pray to God if you was on a low tonnage road.
He caused the damage.
It don't make no difference. It's your word against his. Who do you think Judge?
Yeah,
who do you think Judge will bleed?
I only tapped it.
Tapped at my ass.
Is that one of those situations where it swings the hammer into the mirror? Oh, mirror's busted.
It depends on their day. Now, I got real friends with a woman DOT. She was a sergeant. Okay. If I got stopped, I made a phone call real fast. Before he come up to the cab of my truck, he was getting back in his car and leaving. And she would say, "You good to go? Do what you was doing." You've heard the old saying coming up, it ain't what you know, it's who you know. Trust me. That's so damn true.
But nowadays, it's not who you know, it's who you...
No, it ain't what you know, it's how much money you got in your pocket.
You up Glendale area? Remember when I lived there, it was in the 80s, so it's changed quite a bit. They were just putting in the big highways and stuff. Hey, Tina.
I worked for a company exactly 5 years before they went out of business. The 4th year, he pulled my truck in there and was going to change the clutch and pressure plate. He took it apart and put it back together, and he told me, do I even use a clutch? Because that was not wore out at all.
How the hell were you driving?
In a truck like that, the only time you use a clutch is when you're taking off and you're stopped. Other words, you get your RPMs just right. Them gears will go in like a hot knife through butter.
So you just got so good at shifting that it...
Yeah. And I could damn shift the hell out of one back in too. But it took me a good while to get like that. Now, I burned up some clutches.
I was going to say, you burned up some in the process, huh?
Yeah. I mean, how do you put that? You've got to fail to succeed.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't care what job you want, but I just wish to God I could get back into the workforce again. You know,
Not in today's world, man. Not in today's world.
you're probably right because
Let me put it this way. My workplace offers me benefits, but I have to pay for my benefits.
damn,
Yeah.
no shit.
They're not benefits then.
That's what I kept telling them is that these ain't benefits if I have to pay for them.
Yeah.
Well, see, every time we got a raise, our insurance went up.
Oh,
So
you want
what
to
the
hear?
hell
You want to hear a good one?
was
Last
that?
time they gave us a raise, right? They're like, we're giving you all a substantial raise. We look on a, at our time clock, where it tracks the hours and that, and the pay in that,
Yeah,
50 cents.
the best
50
working in
cents
the
was
mill.
50 cents was considered a substantial raise.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
When I worked in a mill, I got what they said was a damn good raise, 30 cents. It,
When I worked retail, they come my year evaluation. They gave me a whole 13 cents. I quit 2 weeks later.
I worked in a mill and they gave me a dime raise. And I went back to the man in charge and told him I didn't want it. And he said, a dime raise is good. And I said, the hell it is. I said, it put me in a higher tax bracket. I am now taking home less money than I was before I got this dime raise. He said, that's impossible. He had his accountant go through and double check I was right. And he gave everybody a 25-cent raise.
Wow.
25
I
cents.
bet everybody liked you after that.
He didn't.
He
But
knew if he wanted to keep his workers, he'd do that. But yeah.
well, I mean, hell, we all got talking about it and everything, you know. And I mean, it's the truth. A dime raise put us in a higher tax bracket. We were taking home less money than what we was before we got the raise. And I was the only one with the balls to go up and tell him to take his raise back, that I did not want it.
That's how they get you.
Of course. But, you know, it is what it is. Them were the days when I could quit a job at 7 o'clock in the morning and I could have 3 or 4 jobs on the table by lunchtime.
Yeah.
The hardest.
And did you fill out an application?
Oh my God, I hate that.
Paper
You have no idea how much I hate that.
It's like this. If I could talk to the man or woman hiring, I had the job.
Well, here's what I did with the place that I'm at now. So I applied online. I wasn't going to wait around. Okay. But I went to the place. I walked in. I'm like, where's your HR? What are you here for? You got an appointment? Where's your HR? So they took me back to see the HR. I'm like, this, that, and the other thing. They interviewed me. Then I got to the warehouse manager dude that, is in charge of things. I walked in there at the time. I was strapped, fully visible, and he gave me the job.
Well,
because I had enough guts to go up there and be like, fuck you. But, I'm doing this.
My last job that I had was at Walmart. Okay. The last full-time job I had was Walmart. And by chance, I mean, it was a coincidence because I got a phone call from personnel calling for somebody who didn't even live at this address. We got to talking. I went up there later on, put in an application. 2 days later, the woman who was in charge of the whole store told me to come in for an interview. Come early, bring money, because we was having an orientation. And I thought, well, damn, to get an orientation, that means I'm hired. She said, be here at such and such time. Herself give me a tour of the whole damn place. She said, is there any questions that you want to ask? I said, I have one. She said, what's that? I said, I heard you could be a real bitch. She laughed and she said, I can be. When can you start?
That's perfect.
I remember. Well, go ahead.
I mean, look, I wanted the job bad. I needed the job bad. But I ain't pulling no punches from no damn body. I got hired. Damn. Who would have thought?
Well, that's exactly what I did with this job. Is like I was 1 week away from my unemployment expiring. And I walked in there and I'm like, I need a job. Here's this, that, the other thing. Okay, I took $1 less than what I was making prior, but I figured I could make that up, which I've made that up by now anyway. And so forth. And I had enough guts to just tell management, you know what? I ain't putting up with none of your shit, but I will work for you.
Yeah, I remember I went to I got hurt on a job. I was an operator on a it was a Tums line, and I was working on the machine, and the lady said she heard me say clear, which meant push the button and start the lineup. My hands were in the machine, and it caught my finger and ripped pretty much all the skin off of it, and we had to shut the line down, and I had to go to the hospital, and I still don't have much feeling in the finger, but they laid me off. And after that, so I went and got a lawyer and was suing them for that, for the time off and whatnot. But it was time for me to go back to work. So I went into the unemployment office, and because I was getting unemployment because they laid me off. And when I was in there for a meeting, I heard some guy come in, and I heard him talking. He said he needed somebody to work, and he gave him all the information, and it was my turn to go in to talk next, but instead I followed the guy out and said, "Hey, I heard you saying you need somebody to work, and blah blah blah," and I started talking to him, and he says, "You're hired," and find out where they laid me off right next door is where I got a job. Exact next door, and that's where I was working on the gas tankers and stuff like that, welding and whatnot. And I at first I got a job as cleaning, and then I went from that to I built a break room. And then after that, they found out, oh, you know how to weld. So then I ended up getting a welding job there, which made double what I was making for the place that laid me off.
So, just saying, like, I got 5 minutes before my stuff starts.
Uh-oh.
So we got two choices. One, I can try to find some news tonight, or we can just continue this conversation over there if you want.
That's y'all's call.
I'm just gonna put the invite out, and it is what it is.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, I got thinking earlier today. If you're gonna do news thing, it would probably be better if you do it on the weekends, because
Okay.
that way it'll give you a little better chance to get prepared.
Fair enough. And I
You
am
know,
working on the weekdays, so yeah,
yeah,
that would make sense. Like do a weekly news thing.
right.
Yeah, because you don't have
You
much
got,
time once you get off of work to try
Okay.
to
yeah.
find
No,
something.
I don't. And that's part of why I've been keeping them kind of just nonchalant, whatever. So, but yeah, I'm gonna hop over there, and
Bye. Out.
I will see you guys in a bit. 101 out.
Well, Thursday I'll be doing my sketch, and I'm going to change the time up. Instead of going live at 6 o'clock, I'm going to go to 7.
Yeah, that would be good.
So, I'm going to try it like that, see how that works. If that don't work out, then the hell with it. So,
Yeah, well, this week you can go over because um, Bigfoot won't be doing his live because they got company coming over and whatnot.
okay. Okay. Almost. Never mind. All right. So that'll
And
give me a chance to take my pills tonight, get back on track, and go water my rocks.
yeah, I don't have anybody for Wednesday this week. Um, there's just been so much stuff going on. I got again the stupid truck. I've got issues with the truck again, so it's running. It's just not running right. And,
What's wrong with it?
well, I was going down to take my son to watch movies down because we have movie theater here, but it's not very good, so they don't have the new movies out.
Right.
So I was heading south of here, and it just started kind of a miss or a shimmy, and the engine light starts flashing on and off, and then doing an alarm. So I pulled over, tried to see if there was anything messed up or out of line or anything, and couldn't find anything. And we went ahead and made it home, and yeah, it's almost like a misfire.
Do you
It
have
seems like,
plugs and wires on that?
no, unfortunately, I'm looking all over for freaking spark plugs, and this thing doesn't have them. It's a 2006.
And I know what type of motor you got. The same
It's
damn
got
type
them
as
little
in my
stupid
car.
things in there that,
Like a Hemi. That's where
yeah,
your plugs are. Yeah.
yeah. And
Uh,
I'm looking for a distributor. There's no distributor. I can't find one. It's all computerized crap.
I like
And you
my
can't stick your
88.
hand in anywhere unless you got a wrist or fingers that big.
Yep. That's why I like my 88 truck.
Oh yeah, to where you just have a starter. You don't have all this other crap in there. It's
Would you believe that
you
you can
remember when you
stick?
had to you
Yep.
you loosen a bolt of your distributor so you listen to it and you turn the distributor one way or other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I've rebuilt many 302s and 351s like that.
Yeah.
You know,
One of the best motors I ever was a straight six 300.
you doggone right.
A Ford. Oh, that thing had so much dang power. It originally came out of a school bus, and
Well, see,
I put it in a regular van, and that thing. The only thing I ever done to that was change the head gaskets, which You
The
probably know it's not a hard.
3 or 4 hours. That's it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's mainly the time is mainly cleaning.
Well, now the second truck I bought had a straight six in it, 300, and the head gasket was blowed. So I went and bought all upper head gasket sets and everything. Got out there about 7 o'clock, started on it, and it was cold as shit too. By lunchtime, I was driving it again, you know. But that's it. I mean, they don't make stuff like they used to.
Oh no.
And that's the motor I was talking about on 101 show where you could get in the motor and stand on the ground,
Yeah.
like that now.
And you had what? You maybe had 2 or 3 hoses, vacuum hoses. You had a gas line going in.
Yeah.
And you had 6 wires for your spark plugs and your distributor. You had a starter down below,
Carburetor on
alternator.
the side.
And
Yeah.
that was about it.
Yeah. And the carburetor wasn't sitting in the middle of the motor. It was sitting out to the side on the manifold.
Yeah.
Single barrel. But I tell you what, damn. I would trade just about everything I got for another straight six.
Yeah.
I love them things. Well, look, I'm gonna catch you later. I'm gonna do what I said I gotta do, and I'm gonna jump over to 101s.
Yep. Thanks everybody. The link's up above. We'll see you over at 101 if you're headed there. If not, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Out.